Happy Sunday, everyone. This is Jadora here, and I'm back again with another tutorial. Yeah, so you can see I'm very excited about this recipe that I'll be covering with you guys. This is one of my favorite dishes to create, which is a beef braised short ribs. Just look at that gravy sitting on top of those short ribs. So let's just jump right into things, and we're gonna get started. So first things first, you know I like to wash my meat thoroughly. So I go in with some distilled white vinegar and some lemon juice just to make sure that I get all those preservatives off my meat and that my meat is nice and clean before I prep it with seasoning and just technique. So let's go ahead and wash these bad boys. Okay, so my short ribs are nice and clean. I'm just going to go ahead and drain that lemon juice, vinegar, and water, and then I'm going to pat them dry and transfer them back to my mixing bowl, and then I will start the process of seasoning. Alright, so you will see that I will be going a little heavy with the seasoning because I'm creating a marinade for these short ribs because I'm going to let them sit in my fridge covered for about an hour. Now, I wanted to cook these short ribs within the same day, but if you have time, create this marinade that I'm showing you and let them sit overnight and then sear them. But if you don't have time to do that, then you could do it just like I'm doing. Just season your short ribs and then cover them with some saran wrap and let them sit for 30 minutes to an hour before you start searing them. Also, I wanted to mention if this video is going a little too fast, I will be including the ingredients in the description, so do not worry if you're not able to write down all these seasonings because I know my video is going a little fast. Now, as you can see, yes, that is mustard. You guys know I love using mustard because it's just a perfect tenderizer and just makes your meat fall off the bone. So that's why I like to always include a little bit of ground mustard whenever I'm using like meat because it's just a natural tenderizer and it also brings up the flavor and gives it a little bit of tang in my opinion, so that's why I like to use it. So that's it for my marinade. As you can see, I just put in some oregano and some thyme, and I'm just going to give it a good mix. And then I'm going to go in again with my seasoning just to make sure that everything is cohesive and I've hit every part of the short ribs because sometimes when you have your meat in a mixing bowl and you're seasoning, sometimes you don't hit everything, so that's good to mix everything around and then re-season and then cover your mixing bowl with saran wrap so it can chill in the refrigerator. Alright, so like I said earlier in the video, I'm going to put this in my refrigerator and let it chill for 30 minutes to an hour, and then we will continue with cooking these short ribs. Now, I have a quick message for everyone. Let's go to that next screen. Guys, I noticed that 84% of you are not subscribed to my channel when watching my videos. So I'm going to need you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss another recipe, okay? Alright, so this is how my short ribs look after chilling in my refrigerator for 30 minutes to an hour. And now we're going to go ahead and sear these bad boys to bring up the flavor. And then we'll start on the base of my sauce, my gravy sauce for my short ribs. Also, I would like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to my channel within the last 3 weeks. I am so appreciative of your support, and I just hope you guys keep on coming back and that you enjoy my videos. I love creating these recipes and recording these videos for you guys, so I hope you are enjoying them. So what I'm doing right here is I am taking my thyme and oregano and just getting the remainder of that marinade and putting them on top of my short ribs, so once I flip them over that I can sear that leftover flavor from that bowl on top of my short ribs. So this was a very light sear. I didn't want to do such a hard sear on them because they are going to cook in the oven. So I would recommend searing your short ribs for 2 to 3 minutes on each side on high heat. Alright guys, so I hit the edges of my short ribs. I seared those edges. So now I'm going to remove some of these short ribs because my pan is kind of crowded. And I want to hit the focal points of the short ribs and just kind of lay them down, as you guys will see, and have them bone up so I can get a nicer sear on the base of the short rib. And then I will add everything back in after I have created my sauce. And you guys will see these in the next couple clips what I'm doing. Alright, so now I'm going to deglaze my pan with some butter, a half stick of butter, and then add in my onions and then a little bit of red wine vinegar to deglaze that pan. All those little brown bits at the bottom of the pan, you want that because that is all your flavor. So don't ever think that it's like just burnt like pieces. Is actually flavor, and you want all of that. So that's the technique of using the butter and the red wine vinegar just to pull everything up, and that will deglaze your pan. Now you can use red wine, but I like to use red wine vinegar because of just that tenderizing agent. Once I add in back my short ribs, that will keep them very juicy and succulent. So that's why I like to use the vinegar. Guys, so my camera died after this clip, so I'm going to show you that beef broth again because I thought I didn't get it on camera. But I used about a quarter of the beef broth from this container, and then I used this Riunite Lambrusco and 2 packs of Lipton beefy onion in my sauce, and then I added a couple sprigs of thyme. So I just brought my saucepan to a boil to get everything on the same cohesive, consistent heat. And now I'm just removing those thyme sprigs because they infuse my gravy for my short ribs. So now I'm going to add in back my short ribs and then transfer this dish to the oven. So I will be cooking these short ribs first in the oven on 400 for about 30 minutes, and then I will pull them out and turn them around after 30 minutes and cook them on 385 for an hour and 30 minutes covered. And just make sure that when you are cooking your short ribs every 30 minutes that you're turning them over and basting them with the gravy, just to make sure that they're hydrated and getting coated, so you can make sure that they remain juicy and succulent for later. So the short ribs are looking good, but they're not quite yet done. So the The secret with short ribs is the longer that you cook them, the better that they're going to be. You need to cook them at like a low temp and very slow. So that's the reason why I cook them at 385 for an hour and 30 minutes, because I want them to cook slowly and just develop all those flavors and infuse into my short ribs. And that's why I put so much technique in my gravy, because it's gonna be glorious at the end. So this is how they look about probably like an hour in. They're just looking so good. After cooking for 2 hours, this is the end result of my recipe. Don't these look so beautiful and juicy and succulent and saucy? Yes. Alright guys, that's it for my tutorial today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave me a comment below of what you thought about this tutorial. And I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye guys.